Singleton, and you're on Happy, Healthy, and Fit today. I'm a little dressed up because I'm at my own birthday party, and thank you for joining. Today we're going to talk about the American Heart Awareness Month. It's really important that you're aware of your heart. That's the only one we have. We got to take good care of it. So I'm going to tell you a few stories, and maybe they'll help you identify a heart attack in a loved one. And I'm also going to share a book. It's Love Month, so I want to share this book that I think is fantastic. And so here we go. We're going to get started here on Happy, Healthy, and Fit. Hi everybody, welcome to Happy, Healthy, and Fit today. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining me. If this is your first time, I hope that you enjoy my content, and if you do, let me know. Well, today we're going to talk about a few things, but the first thing I want to talk about is the American Heart Awareness Month, and I want to talk a little bit about that. My dad passed away 4 years ago from a massive heart attack shoveling snow. He was 74 years old. And of course, I don't think that I'd probably ever really get over that. He was a strong man. He was an athletic man. If you've watched my series, you know he was a professional athlete. He was still playing tennis regularly with a group of people that I actually got to meet at his wake. And it saddened us, but we now know that heart disease runs in our family, and we have to do all measures to help ourselves stay safe and live as long as possible. So that was a big thing that happened to my family, and I know many of us have lost people to heart attacks. I want to share a story of my stepdad, Pat. One Easter was following my father's passing. He and my mom usually come to Easter because I am the cook in the family. So they usually arrive several days before Easter, and they hang out. And it's not unusual for me to ask my stepdad to help me out with what I call a manly type job. I needed something done. And so when they came in, I noticed he was coughing a lot. I mean, just like almost bringing up a lung, coughing so bad. I thought it was maybe like asthma or something triggered him. And I had said when he had calmed down and was sitting on my couch, I was like, hey, Pat, do you think you could help me out with whatever that was? And he said no. I was like, okay. And I was a little surprised because he always said yes. So that was weird to me. But if he said no, it's no, and it was, I'll figure out another way. So as the weekend progressed, I just noticed he spent a lot of time outside in my backyard coughing and coughing and coughing. I mean, it was terrible. And I said to my mother, he needs to go to the doctor. And she goes, yeah, probably next week. Next week we'll go to the doctor and see what's going on with him. And I just kept observing him. And he just wasn't himself. He wasn't friendly. He was just almost like miserable. And so Sunday came, and I'd cooked a beautiful ham and all the fixings, and I'd called everybody to come and eat. And he said, no, I'm not going to eat. Well, I looked at my mother and I was like, listen, that's it. We're going to the hospital. My mother goes, what are you talking about? She was already enjoying herself at the meal. I go, something's wrong with Pat. Pat never turns away my food. We got to get him to the hospital. So he kept saying no, no, no. And I said, yes, yes, yes. And so I said, listen, I'm not taking no for an answer. Something's wrong, Pat. I don't know what it is. You're not yourself. I never seen you like this before. Let's go. So off to the hospital we went. And they immediately did some quick tests and realized he needs to stay. He had a heart attack. That coughing was part of the heart attack he was having. The not wanting to eat, and all those signals were him not doing well, having a heart attack. And it scared the bejesus out of my mother, never mind the rest of us. But the hospital said to me, if we had not gotten him to the hospital, he wouldn't be here. He ended up being 9 days in the hospital. They replaced a valve, and he was a great candidate for a particular valve replacement procedure that was very, I wouldn't say experimental, but it was very new. And it was, you know, I'm grateful every day I had watched him. His behavior was not what we expected of him, and especially when he didn't want to eat my food. He always loves my food, and that was a really big signal for me, like something's wrong. So watch your people around you. If people aren't acting right, sometimes, especially men, they don't want to appear weak or that something's wrong. Listen, if it means you're going to be here, you need to talk up and say, hey, I'm not feeling good. You know, I may need to go get this checked out. If you're noticing, just make some valiant effort to get that person to a hospital if you perceive that he or she may be having a heart attack. And so that's a story that I think is important for you to know. Behavior is important, and he didn't act the same. And I recognize that. So I want you to share that with others if you know others that need to know that story. But it's a love month. I love February, not just because it's my birthday, but it's a very loving month. I love February. And one of the things, I don't recommend too many books or anything like that, but there's a book I want to recommend. It's called The 5 Love Languages. And if you're in a marriage or you're getting into a relationship, this is an awesome way to understand your partner and for your partner to understand you better. We all have different things we like. And I've been married several times, and I realized had I known about this book, I'm not saying it would have made any difference, but I would have understood maybe their love language a little differently, and they would have understood mine, and then we could have figured out that it was probably not going to work because of whatever. But I do remember one of my marriages, I was communicating what I needed. I needed him to spend some time with me. I needed him to plan a date, a weekly date with me, and plan a trip for me and him. And you know, I really was looking for his attention given to me. And he told me, no, I'm not doing that. You get enough attention outside of the house. I'm not doing it, and you don't need it. And I thought, you're not going to have a wife for very long. And he went, ha, 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 ha. Guess what? If your needs aren't being met, you will move yourself out of that space. This book, what I love about it, it really shares a lot about how you can communicate those things to your partner. I am a very giving person. I love to shower my people with love and attention and gifts and doting, and that's what I give. But what I want is different. I actually like touch. Touch is a very big love language for me. Holding my hand, you know, spending time, you know, just, you know, doing those special things with touch. That's important to me. And that's my number one love language. So if I meet someone and they don't want to hold my hand and they don't want to, you know, be close to me and snuggle and hug, and it's not going to be fun. And if they don't want to do it, it's even worse, right? So, and I had those experiences before, and I often was feeling empty. And so they talk about your love tank being empty, and I spent a lot of time on an empty tank, not receiving what I needed. And it's also important for you to know what your partner's needs are. So the book is really good. Just recommending it. I hope that it might help you, and I appreciate you. I'm going to spend my beautiful birthday with my family today, and I appreciate you joining and doing all you need to do to take yourself and keep yourself happy, healthy, and fit. I'm Becky Singleton, and I'm just like you.